Hello, welcome to Daniel Hibbert Lawn Expert. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to get that dream lawn you've always wanted by seeding from scratch. So we're going to start with the Galactic Project. Step one, we need to remove the old lawn. I hired a turf cutter for about £50 for the day. It's a lot of money for the amount of time that you use it, but it really is a labour saver. If you've only got a small lawn, it could be done by hand, but on a lawn this size, it really does need this machine because we've got roots and everything under there. It just makes light work of that. Prior to doing this turf cutting work, if your lawn is full of weed grasses, it's recommended maybe to apply some Roundup a few weeks before, just to stop the risk of those coming back once the new seed is underway. So we hired a skip for about £275, which was an 8-yard skip, and this was just enough to take away the turf that we lifted on this lawn. But if you have a bigger lawn, you could look into hiring a grab wagon because you get more in for roughly the same price. So once we've removed all the old turf, we can start bringing in the new root zone or topsoil, depending on what you can get in your area or how you want to go forward with your lawn. If you have a sandy root zone, you're going to have better drainage, whereas if you have a soil based, you're going to have better water retention in the summer, but maybe poorer drainage in the winter. So I like to use this grit sand from Easy Lawn, which is pH neutral and great for new seed when field compost number 4 is mixed into it, as I'll show you later on in the video. We start barrowing the root zone in, and as Paul's bringing it in, I'm just kicking it around with my feet, just getting a general level over the area, just making sure everywhere has some soil before we can move on to some finer tuning with the rake. So I just go over, get the seed bed pretty level, and then we go over and do the dance of the penguins. And this is great because what this does, it just compacts the area. Because we've got different heights of soil where we've took more soil away underneath, there's going to be more compaction needed in different areas, and this is a great way to make those areas visible. Any lower areas we can then top up. So now the compaction work is done, I can start fine tuning the level. This is really the last opportunity I've got to get the lawn as level as possible, and what I want to do is make sure the soil is right up against the edge of the pavers so we don't damage our mower in a few weeks when we get on mowing it. So now we've got our final level. It's time to think about adding some field compost number 4 to our sand. Because sand's inert, it's not got much nutritional or water holding capabilities, so I go along and I add 4 bags of field compost to our mix, and what this will do is it'll hold on to some water and it'll hold on to more nutrition going forward, and it's also got some nutrition in there so our new seed will be able to get hold of this as and when it needs it. So what I like to do now is I get my fork and I just work the compost into the root zone just by dragging it behind me, almost like a ploughed field, and this just works in really nice without disturbing the final level that we created earlier too much, because what we don't want to do is disturb those levels so our lawn isn't flat when we come to do the seeding. Then I like to add some zeolite. This is going to give us more nutrient and water retention properties, and I just again work that into the root zone so it's there for when the new seed needs it. This is all part of getting the seed bed ready for the seed. So now we've got our bed ready, I'm now going on with my extreme dwarf ryegrass seed, just going on in different directions, and then every time I've been over, I go over with my fork and work it into the soil to aid better germination. When it comes to seed choice, you can sow whatever grass seed you want. I love using the ryegrass because I love the football pitch look. If it's the golf green or the bowling green look that you're after, then bent fescue might be for you, but please, please, please go into it with your eyes wide open. It's not as easy as people are making out. You may end up with a disaster on your hands, which is not what we want. Ryegrass is so easy, anyone can do it. So what we do now is we finish off with a wetting agent, and what this does, it just allows water to soak into that compost. Because it's natural, it has a waxy coating and water will just bead off otherwise. So we do that, give it a water, and we go on with the fleece that we just picked up off eBay. 18 grams a square metre will do absolutely fine. and we anchor that down with some staples that we got from the tool station, and that is the job done as far as prep work goes before our new lawn is going to be ready. Weeks have passed since we put the fleece on. I've been watering every day at this point now. This was March when we did the job, and as you can see there, it was 8th of April when we took the covers off. Obviously in the summer you might only need to leave the fleece on for a week, although I do always recommend 2, but although we left them on for 2 here, I think the 3rd week could have been beneficial to this lawn looking back. So as you can see, we've got some decent germination along the sides, and I think this is because it had more water, because I was predominantly standing on the edge of the lawn over the top of it. But I think going back, I should have maybe watered more in the middle and would have had better germination. But we did have a few frosts and a few other bits and bobs, but there was still plenty of seed coming through, so I wasn't at all concerned. And you've just got to be patient sometimes and let the weather do its thing. So what I do is I just go on with a load of products, all about roots at this point. We're not interested in top growth, it's all about root development. So it's just Sopro, Stella, Grace, Orbit, and a little bit of Dan's Magic in there, just to give us a little bit of nitrogen because the ground will be lacking. I was out for 2 weeks. We join it now 2 weeks later, where it is ready for its first cut. It's filling in nicely, but just notice with the mower I'm just pushing and pulling. The lawn isn't in a position yet where it is ready to be able to take a mower turning on it, so I just go up and down, and what I'm also doing is hoovering up this blossom, which was problematic to say the least. Then we finished off that day with another dose of products just to keep that root development coming along, and we added a bit more Dan's Magic because we are interested in a bit of top growth now. And so we go on with our first granular feed because our seed is nice and consistent all over, and we have a nice consistent sward. We can now think about going on with some fertiliser. If your lawn is still a bit patchy, hold back on the granular fertiliser because this is going to cause problems, because you have to start mowing the lawn before everything has come through. Just going on at 35 grams a square metre, and what this will do is this is going to kickstart everything filling in and really giving us that deep green colour which we're after. And then once we've put it on, we can then give it a good watering in, because granular fertiliser doesn't start working until it's washed in. So in about 10 to 14 days this lawn is going to be looking even better. So in the meantime, whilst that has been working, I've just been cutting regularly and watering every day because we've had 0 rain and it's been so windy. The lawn has just been drying out, but as you can see, since we've put the granular fertiliser on, we're starting to get a deeper green colour, and with regular cutting it's starting to thicken up as well. I think we did have a few problems with leather jackets in certain areas. These needed topping up with a bit of seed. As you can see though, 9 days later, I'm just here doing a video to promote the other side being done, and as you can see, we've started striping it up. And then on the 23rd of May, the lawn has done so well, I'm confident enough to not even turn on the lawn at some points, but get my very fine cartridge out, and it stormed through with flying colours, absolutely no damage whatsoever, and as you can see, looking absolutely beautiful. We're well on our way to achieving that football pitch look. If we'd have gone down the burnt fescue route, we'd have still been waiting for the seed to come through. We would not be this advanced and it would not have been this easy. But just look at that, looking absolutely spectacular. And now we've been on with that very fine cartridge just to pick up any debris and start taking out some of the necrotic growth. We then go over it with a cylinder cut just to give us that football pitch look, and finish off with a recovery spray. We'll give that a watering in because everything's taken up by the roots eventually. And that is how you seed a lawn from scratch and get it looking like a Premier League surface in just under 8 weeks.